The best briskets are cooked in a primal state, which means all the fat on, and then you remove the fat after it's cooked.
That makes sense because the fat's going to have a bunch of pretty decent nutrients inside of it.
Flavors, not nutrients. Flavors. And,
because you want it to melt a little and get
right.
some of
and
that
out. If it's trimmed before it's cooked, the meat just dries up.
So I'm guessing this is bottom piece. You have to get a lot of leverage.
Uh-huh.
So I guess you're going to extract meat from both of those pieces?
Yes, I'm going to defat them both and cut the meat exactly. That whole brisket there'll be quite a bit of waste, but it's cheap.
So, cost of the meat was...
For the total meat, total piece, $30. I don't know what the price per pound was.
Well...
That'll be about $3 a pound.
So, and overall, how much meat do you think you're going to yield out of this?
£4, if we're lucky.
But this is going to be a very juicy,
very
rich 4 pounds.
Very rich. Oh, yes. Well, prime rib would have cost us 3 times as much, and we still would have had some waste, but not as much as this. Now.
Plus, a prime rib, I think it actually requires more expertise.
Plus, prime ribs don't work real well at banquet kind of things.
That's what I mean.
So many people don't like it rare.
Especially if you're doing like a crown rib roast.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're just going to such a motif.
Okay. Now, you see how the grain goes this way?
Yes.
And cut against the grain.
And after you put this all in the pan, you're going to put the juice back in, put it back in the oven.
And put the meat from about here over and potatoes about here over, and then pour the juice on it, and put it back in the oven. You got it.
So this brisket was pre-cooked.
It was
for how many hours?
Braised for 4.5 hours in an oven with liquid. That's why it was braised.
Not so many people know this, but corned beef is not that Irish. What happened was some immigrants on St. Patrick's Day simply needed a cut of meat,
right?
And
it was cheap.
Yeah, they effectively got the Jewish cut, which actually surprisingly complemented simply cooked potatoes and cabbage pretty well.
Right, because being the corned means packed in salt. It doesn't mean anything with corn. It's salted. So the potatoes and the cabbage absorbed the salt real well. So it added flavor to everything. See how pretty that looks?
Yeah, it definitely looks like beef.
Mm-hmm. We'll pretty much cut up everything and see where we go from there.
So any experiments you're considering with this in the future, like maybe using some Italian seasoning or a Cajun?
to give that some thought. I would think more Cajun. And because we use the pan drippings and the bouillon and the broth, we have to taste it, see if it's the right amount of salt. Basically, this meat gets seasoned salt-wise by the juice.
I can understand that all the sodium that's going to go into this next will be from that juice that is currently on the stove, slowly but surely reducing. I have to guess that popping noise from cutting through a little bit of bone.
No, it's from this thing. It's from the stove.
So is this fat all to be disposed, or is
Yes,
there any
it gets
reuse?
disposed. Yes, it gets disposed.
I'm guessing the best fat to be reused would be from pork.
Mm-hmm. Again, we're going across the grain.
Yes.
You want the fibers as short as possible.
Because what happens is when it's held, it's currently only held together really by the skin on the outside, and when someone bites into it, it's just gonna fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to cut along the grain and not
It would be chewy. Be long
completely parallax / against it, instead those fibers would not give up.
Right. I think that's about all I'm going to put in there. I think that'll be plenty.
Yes.
There's lots of meats coming. Okay, I'm going to save that for something else. Plus, I got to work through that stuff. Okay, so let that be. Let me wash my hands. Don't deal with the taters.